I'm not sure, but
Good morning.
good morning, and this is episode 4? I think it's episode 4.
I think so.
Episode 4,
Episode 4.
and this is coming off of a Labor Day weekend, so I hope everybody had a good weekend. Hope you enjoyed your day off on Monday,
Yeah, Labor Day's awesome.
and, you know, it's kind of a belated thing, but thank you for all the work that we did, and you guys did
Thank
to
all
be
the-
productive in society.
Yes.
And we deserved that day. And sometimes days aren't free, so if you did get that day off, I know some companies add it on a Saturday to the week to make up for it, because that's how productive the world has become lately, right? It's like nothing is ever free anymore or given because they have to make it up somehow. So I'm working this
Yeah.
Saturday.
You know, it's really funny because, like, I know that a lot of times, you know, the United States has their own deal, right? But
Mm-hmm.
if you go to, like, Europe,
Yeah.
if you go, like, especially, like, in Germany, they have, like, days already scheduled for you to take off.
Oh, like
they
forced
schedule
days.
Yeah, like, that's your day to take a day
But
off.
they're not really holidays then?
On top of holidays.
You're burnt out. You take a day off now. That would be
Wait.
kind of cool.
Well, you know, it's really funny because, like, even if you have a scheduled delivery,
Uh-huh.
it's already calculated in your work year. So you even have 13 days to pick up, like, stay at home to pick up deliveries. Because when they deliver stuff over there, you have to be there. Because if you're not there, you're not going to get it, and it's going to take another month for you to get it back. So everything is synced.
I
So
remember-
your schedule has to be
I haven't seen one of these, but I remember growing up, and you would wait for a certain package or something, right? And you would get these notices.
Yeah.
Mailman came at this time, you weren't there, and then
Right.
it's like have these check marks, right?
Yeah.
And if there was so many times, then you would actually have to pick it up yourself, I believe. Is that how it worked? I can't remember.
Well, because, like, oh, I forgot to do the podcast. So like, this is the way they would do it, right? You could. There's a drop-down menu for the delivery.
Mm-hmm.
You could, number one, be there to pick it up. Number two, pick it up at a later date.
Mm-hmm.
Or number three, it could be delivered at a box.
Right.
And then they give you a code to the box, and then you type in your code, and box opens. You don't even know, it's like huge, and then it'll open up, and you go to it, and there's your box, and you grab it.
And that's what Little Caesars is doing, I believe. You can
Seriously?
order pizza, and they put it in this like locker
Like
or something.
warmer locker?
And you just go up there, put in your code or whatever, and grab your pizza. I saw the commercial. Sounds pretty cool. But you know, speaking of
Can you
delivery
imagine
and
the applications to that?
everything is.
No, because, like, okay, here, think about this.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to put this on record. So the application to that, right,
Uh-huh.
is because we're moving away from box stores. We're moving away to going to stores. We're going now to, like, conveniences, right?
Right.
And so, like, Amazon's then, like, number one right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a few purveyors of food and
Mhm.
etc. moving toward that model because they're so successful.
Right.
And so the delivery mechanism is going to be very different.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can order your groceries. If you put it in a big box like that, where stuff can be warm, whatever, stay cold, or however, like a refrigerator box,
Yeah.
and it delivers it to your box. Now, you could either send your drone over there to go pick it up, or send your 15-year-old to go get it.
And they have the code and
yeah,
everything.
they have the
It's
code, and
already
they
paid
pull
for.
it. Yeah, and they get it out of the box.
Now, I think that would be really useful for like kids that are traveling out of state. You know, they're going to football games in another city, and as a parent, maybe you can't be with them, but you want to
Yeah.
provide them with like a warm meal from a place that is located in that
Sure.
city. To be able to pay ahead of time and say, hey,
Yeah.
I know you're in town, I know you're going to be going through.
Sure.
Stop at this place, here's the code, I bought you a meal.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of neat. That's pretty awesome to think about that application. And then beyond that,
Yeah.
you could apply it to, gosh, anything really.
You really can. You can really apply
I mean,
it to anything.
think what that would do for a business.
I mean, a business alone too. Number one, okay, because it's like it's like building blocks.
mhm,
Okay, the first hole that you dig is going to be the foundational, right? And then the next up and up, right? So the concept would be delivery system. Okay, then what are the applications?
mhm.
You know, what kind of businesses do you need to maintain the delivery system, right? So you're going to need technicians for the drones. You're going to need parts. You're going to need all sorts of, like in ordering all the stuff to make a car, right?
Right. If we had a whiteboard right here or a piece of paper,
A whiteboard.
we could actually flowchart this all out. And come up with a complete system on what we needed to do step by step to get this thing going.
To get the whatever delivery system, because that's
Right.
the biggest challenge right now for Amazon is the logistics piece.
And that's why they're always asking for help and trying to help people start up their
Yeah.
own business and fleet of drivers to help
Yeah.
support it.
It's
So-
like Uber for Amazon.
Right now, it's almost like
you could
Amazon is providing this work for people to deliver their stuff, and it's almost like first come, first serve. It's
Yeah.
unorganized, but they're relying on the people
To deliver
to
their
deliver
stuff.
their stuff effectively and efficiently, and you meet an expectation to stay in business with them.
Yeah, because that's why they're exploring the drone stuff. I think it's important to see what the future is going to be like, right?
Right.
So, their only thing with the drone is, number one, the drone has to protect itself because people, hey, that looks like a big TV. Oh, look at that big old TV going over there. Let's follow the TV.
Right.
And then they drop it off, right?
It'd be like hunting. Like I would stake out this area, and I'm like, I know that this path is what the drones take.
65-inch TV. Look at that.
This neighborhood is where all the rich people live. I'm gonna wait for what I want, and it's like hunting.
It's like,
There it goes. Yeah. But
got one.
speaking of things like that, we're
That's
talking
funny.
about time savers. I was just watching a video, and Husqvarna,
Husqvarna, I love that
They
company.
created a robot, kind of like the Roomba, but it's for the lawn, and they set up these
love that.
wires that tell the robot the boundaries of the yard, and if you have a flower bed you don't want to run over.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
I watched a video on it, and this thing works even during the rain. You don't have to worry about mowing in the light or dark.
Yeah.
It does it on its own, and it's really quiet. And the way it cuts, because it's always keeping it at a certain level,
Yeah.
it actually helps the grass be more plush, more vibrant.
Oh, wow.
And
I guess regular cutting helps out, right?
yeah, and
Regular cut.
it brings back so many hours of time back to whatever you want to do, because you don't have to worry about your lawn being mowed. And it has this charging port just like the Roomba,
Yeah.
to where if it gets low on battery, it just goes back. And because
then
it's like
hooks back
GPS
up.
driven,
Yeah.
it knows where it was. So your lawn is always a special length and everything. And they talked about security of this thing is, it's got this activation to where if it's upside down, it will shut off so people can't get hurt by it.
Oh, wow.
And if it bumps into somebody, it kind of automatically changes direction and things like that. But
That's amazing.
things like that, it seems like, are always bigger in other countries, and then we're like the last to adopt or use
I
this
mean,
awesome
I
technology.
think what drives that is the legality of things.
Mm.
We want to take it to a country where there's not a lot of law associated or suing stuff. People like to sue whatever if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So there are test beds out in different countries that
Well, like electric vehicles, for example, in some other countries, that's the majority of the cars in other countries, where here it's kind of slowly catching on.
yeah.
Like other places adopt some great ideas without really, they jump on board quicker than
Yeah.
we do, it seems like. But we come up with a lot of good ideas, but other countries adopt them faster.
Well,
Doesn't
it's
that-
really funny because like when I was in high school, I went to high school in the Philippines, right? So we already had juice boxes, and when I was here in the United States, they didn't have juice boxes yet.
Like those high C.
Yeah, like the high spots.
yeah.
Like we
I
had
love
those way like.
They even do water in them now. You know.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Like the first time I like bottled water.
Yeah.
It's like, who would want a bottled water?
Exactly. And
now it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry.
And now we have a problem with plastic everywhere. Jeez.
No, that's another solution, right? You need to figure out what to do with all the plastics.
Yeah.
Because plastic is a result of petroleum, right? So you can use plastics as well. You pollute it. Yeah. Anyway, you looked at it, right? If you burned it for fuel, because it's that smoke is still contaminate the air. So nix that idea. Wouldn't it be cool though if you can grab a bunch of plastic bottles and stuff them in your car, and that would be your fuel?
That would be pretty cool.
Like if you can chemically.
You would need a lot of bottles.
You need lots of bottles.
So what would happen is you could actually be those people that would be like a recycling center, and you, instead of baling hay, you would bale bottles like into these cubes. So you'd create these cubes that people would pre-purchase, and this cube it's like a Duralog, right?
Yeah.
But it's you just put it right into your car.
Like a Plastilog.
Like a Plastilog.
A Plastilog.
So that would be an opportunity for somebody to take advantage of this technology that would be able to burn the plastic.
Can you imagine running your BMW on a Plastilog?
You got your trunk full of plastic logs. Just,
I need to fuel up. Trying to steal your Plastilog?
No.
Oh my God. Please help me, dude. I'm out of gas, man. Let me have a Plastilog, please. Hey, you got $3 to spare? I need a Plastilog.
Huh. Things like that. Every technology needs some sort of support.
Absolutely.
And even though it sounds silly, somebody needs to bale that plastic into a cube for us.
Yeah, I know. The plastic cube.
Yeah.
The plastic cube. Oh, it's too funny.
And the simplicity of, you think of the building blocks Legos when you're growing up. Everything nowadays is using a blocking type method to develop things.
Isn't that
like
true?
you were talking about.
Yeah.
We got to start here, and then we got to add this layer, and it's all blocks.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that where they actually make concrete blocks like Legos, and then they use them to do construction?
Oh yeah, it's a lot quicker.
It's amazing.
And then they just do the simple part of the glue of it.
Well, actually, the masonry, so to speak, the concrete they put on top, and then they just level out. It's pretty cool.
Just like backsplashes, right? Backsplashes are kind of pre-assembled now into a chunk of design, and then you just kind of layer them instead of having to take one piece at a time.
Yeah,
now it's already a pattern.
It's already in a mesh.
It's already in a mesh, exactly.
So it's already glued on. You just stick the whole mesh up there, and then you run your grout over the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like this, I'm thinking about like in the future, because it's funny. There was a guy who was talking on YouTube where he was talking about, hey, you know what, your kids, when we grew up, we didn't have internet.
Right.
So what we end up doing, playing outside.
Yeah.
Well, the kids today have the internet, and so their livelihood will be dependent on the internet. So all the skill sets that they need are there when they're playing, whether video games or whether being online. Those skill sets still need to be developed because that's the arena in which they're going to be working in. And so we as parents sometimes will pull the kids away because too much screen time, whatever. But that's the world they're going to be in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We need to find a way to steer them toward the good information that's on the internet instead of the time wasters, because there's a lot of time wasters.
A lot of them.
So, it's like good food in, good health, good information, good screen time. It's all about getting them that good screen time versus the junk screen time. And
but who's going to define that, though? That's the other question, right? Who's going to define what's good and what's bad?
Well, the parents. I mean, but
kids will always auto programming. She would actually go, so the future would be, oh, here you go, let's look at Johnny's playlist. Bloop. Oh, take that out, take that out, take that out. Yeah. these.
we would push stuff to their devices.
That'd be funny because then
they
you could
think
like
they're on the open internet, but we're actually pushing content to them.
Yeah.
I don't
like,
know.
like abundance, like hypnosis, obedience hypnosis.
Like you give the kid their first smartphone, they don't know what the internet is, right?
Yeah. Like they
But
go to them and
their very first device seems to have access to everything, but it doesn't because we're pushing certain things to them.
Yeah.
But it's almost like using the
like brainwashing.
Disney type thing, right? I mean, they got this content filtering. It's almost like content
filtering.
You know. So
you could do that content filtering.
Yeah, I got that set up at home too.
Yeah.
You know, certain things that hey, if they go to it,
be interesting.
You know, you can't go to it, but they always find ways around it. Whatever.
I'll tell you what, you know, like the child products and stuff, huge.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of people like monetize on is that within months they're gonna get a new thing. You just spent the money on getting clothes or whatever, or shoes, and then next month they don't even fit in it because they grew so fast.
And the technology is just like that because it's like, you know, these phones, right? This happens to be an iPhone 8, but I don't need to get another phone for a long time. It's just we just end up doing it
because you want the features.
You want features, the upgrades.
Yeah.
But you really don't need it.
Don't need it. You don't need all the upgrades.
I remember right when the computers were coming out back then. It's like every single month there was a brand new modem that came out.
Oh yeah.
That was a little bit faster than
yeah.
You know how quickly I filled up my room with old modems?
I bet.
I mean, it was just insane.
That and floppy disk.
Oh, floppy disk. I
remember we had the old floppy one, the big one, and then they went to the small ones.
The 3.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? That stuff is like there's more room in there's more room in maybe my remote than there is in that floppy disk. I mean, imagine you had to get
floppy disk was only like 512 KB, I believe.
Can you imagine that? You had like to have.
Remember when you had to install a program? You had like 20 disks. Insert disc 1.
Oh, thank goodness we don't have to do that anymore.
Nope. And the younger generation doesn't remember any of that. That's what's so funny about it. So when we talk, I mean, this could be entertaining to some people because they're like, what are these guys talking about?
Yeah,
like,
what are floppy disks?
And we're kind of just reminiscing, right? But
that's funny.
Some people will find it entertainment.
Well, no, because then you can see the evolution, right? So at first you have like the internal memory, then you had to get the external memory, then you had to get the floppy disk so that you can release some of that external memory onto and that was crude, right? Then you had to have stacks and stacks of, what was that file again? I can't remember. And like, you had to go through your naming convention to figure out where it was to do the program. And even programs, right? Like you said, you had to have like 20 disks, a 20 disc set, you know, to kind of get it going.
And those floppies were so fragile.
Oh gosh. Remember you had like run a magnet over the top of it and they're done.
Once, and you're like, I'm done. I can't do anything anymore. And I can't install the rest of my program because disk number 3 is corrupted.
Yeah, I know. So now you got to buy the other program to do it again because you know it got magnetized. Crazy. So glad we're not doing that anymore.
All right. But speaking of technology, you know, I'm going to be 41 next month, or in November, not next month, but anyway, really soon here.
Young.
At our age, and even older generations, because of this technology, anybody can get in the game to take advantage of any goal or monetary thing that they want to pursue.
Yes.
Because there's so many people that have passions out there that they haven't been able to share, but now with the technology,
they can.
They can show people things, teach people things, talk about things that they're skilled at, and by that alone they can get a following, and then you know be able to do what they like to do.
There was this guy, I think about 10 years ago. His thing was he would professionally sharpen people's pencils.
Like
he would
with his own, like
he would have like these very skilled techniques of how to sharpen it perfectly so that the lead was perfect.
Yeah.
And he became popular. And then he ended up having his own show. And I think he hosted an MTV show. I don't know.
Well,
he became super famous.
There's kids that are super famous just for making slime. I mean,
Slime? Making slime. They're making their own slime?
Or there's this thing called ASMR where people are like opening packages and eating food, and the sound effects from whatever that is.
Yeah.
I don't know, it must like be a new thing, but people like watching it and they think it's mesmerizing.
What?
Hearing sounds or hearing people whisper really, I mean, it's just weird.
That's wild.
But there's a channel and niche for everything.
There is.
And what's cool about it is I can subscribe to all the ones I like, and people can subscribe to all the ones they like, and then you kind of piggyback off of each other, and then you start supporting each other in the network, and then I don't know how YouTube does it, but based on the number of views and subscribers, you get something back, and then it just keeps growing, right?
Absolutely.
So
I think there's a threshold to like subscribers and viewers, right? You have to reach a certain threshold for all of that to kick in. So that's one of the things.
But this is just a start for us. We're doing this because
we love it.
We like meeting together. We like talking, and now you're part of our discussions. And some of the things that we talk about, just make me think. And we think about the future, and we think about what used to be, and
the evolution of stuff.
So speaking about the audio quality today, I know last week we were talking about how we like these lavalier mics, they call them.
Yeah.
Well,
these are
I thought
mics.
they were so great that we were actually using Paul's, that I actually had to go on Amazon and get one for myself.
Yep.
And I found out that this one right here is called Top Voice. It's just one lavalier mic, and it's only $10.
Right.
So for the quality of what you're hearing
right now, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And what we're using right now is the interview.
Yes.
Microphone. The Solid. Also got this at Amazon.
Solid. I think it's
both
solid.
things.
Solid.
Both things come in a pouch like that. This one comes in a bigger pouch because it's made for interviewing or two people. So it comes with splitters, extensions, and stuff like that.
So with a lot of stuff, actually.
And this was only like $14.99.
Extensions.
And with Prime, ordered it and got it in like 2 days. Sometimes 1 day. So that's what it is. We're not going to do an opening thing for you, but what we could do is we could link these products below. You can click on them, maybe get them for yourself if you like them, but very simple, cheap solutions to create your own podcast or video. And that's enough about that plugin.
What I love is, remember like in those videos where the guy's like, well, I can't open this package with one hand, so I'm going to be gone for a second. And then it's open and like, oh, this is great. And they try to empty it out. Yeah. Like, oh, I sorry about the screen. I missed it. It's over here. Look, it's really, really great. Look, it's really awesome. I mean, it's hilarious. Like, I can't do this with one hand, so I'm going to have to cut away.
Yeah. Here's the thing too. I've seen a lot of bad YouTube videos out there that are very bad quality, very
very bad,
unprofessional. But there's a lot of viewers and a lot of subscribers because a lot of times it's the information that's more important that they're trying to share.
Yeah, the content.
Than anything.
The content rather than the delivery.
Right.
I mean, you can have somebody that's really good, like really polished, and do a lot of hard work and do all this stuff, and then maybe not have that many. But then you have this guy who's in this back shed. Yeah. Oh, we're back here in my back shed, and we're going to go ahead and take this out.
Right.
And they're like millions of views.
Because I think there's a realness to it that if it's too polished and it's kind of boring. People aren't liking it, right? Because it's like,
it's like those training videos.
Yeah,
it's like
too
those
commercial,
training videos,
right?
like those training videos you like at McDonald's and stuff.
But I think that me and you sitting here, at least we're being real, and they can actually see our real personality for the most part.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that, in a sense, brings people in because the kids or whoever is growing up in this technology, they're not used to real relationships, and they're not used to talking to real people as much, right? So
I wonder how that's going to play out, though.
bringing people in.
You know, it's funny because we talk about that. You know,
Mhm.
like think how that would play out in the future. It's like if they're not having real relationships.
Mhm.
I mean, how would that do in business? How would that do in social interaction? I mean, it's right. You don't really know the person until you
Right.
meet them and talk to them, right?
Well, in sales, right, it's about the relationships and things like that, being able to talk. But now there's marketing, and marketing is about kind of like advertising and getting people to look that direction.
Right.
So, do you think things are going more toward marketing versus sales, or is it hand in
I don't
hand?
know. Well, for right now, there's been this trend, right,
Mhm.
on the internet. Everyone knows when they're getting sold. I mean, it's just, you know, somebody will have a great, clever story,
Yeah.
and then at the end, you know, click here or subscribe or join this podcast, join
Mhm.
this webinar. And at the end of the webinar, after all these hours of sitting and watching this story, they tell you to buy this kit, which,
Right.
you know, and everyone knows that now. So as we're moving forward, what I'm seeing a trend is more of content, right?
Mhm.
So content is what people are watching.
I think you're nailing it. I think the people that are successful right now are the people that are providing the content and are sharing information or showing somebody how to do something. Because, like, you know, people may be watching what we're
Right,
doing,
right.
and we just, you know, flash this and say, hey, this is what we're using.
Yeah.
They see the genuineness in this. We're not trying to
Absolutely.
sell this, but we're saying, hey,
Hey,
we're doing what
we-
we're saying.
yeah.
And if you like this, here's
Try it out.
what it is. Try it out.
Yeah. We're
And-
not, you know, we don't have any, we're not being endorsed or anything.
Right, yeah.
I mean, we're just sharing our content.
And instead of you having to search for it on Amazon,
You're right.
it's already linked with this video.
And we're
So,
the proof of the
boom.
pudding, right? So we're using this stuff now, and then you know what it sounds like.
Right.
So when it comes down to it and you want this kind of sound quality, then it's available to you, right?
So let's talk about the future again. You know, we talked about in episode 2 about schools overcrowding and how things would be going.
Yeah.
There's also another side of things that I don't think anybody had thought about, but I had seen it on the internet, and it kind of made me think and question this.
Right.
So right now we're going through this like push of this population pushing through,
Right.
but they're also predicting that all of a sudden after this initial push,
Right.
the population growth is just going to basically come to a halt, and now we won't have to deal with overcrowding because that generation has already pushed its way through, and now there's nothing that is kind of backing it up as far as a replenishment of population, if that makes sense.
Well, there are a few things, right,
Mhm.
coming on board. There's going to be, I predict in the next 20, 30 years, we're going to have androids living in our home.
I want an Android living in my home.
You'll actually have an android living in your home, right? And so we as human, they're making these androids so real
Mm-hmm.
that some of them lose their own, like, they associate that android as a human being, as a citizen of the universe, and they become emotionally attached to it.
I have heard of relationship fights between PlayStations, Xboxes, and things like that, and that's not even a human,
Yeah.
right? So to see something that you could interact with, that you could, in your mind,
Can
really get to
emotionally,
know,
yeah.
and they can kind of get to know your habits, right?
Well, AI is so sophisticated, it can already process possible responses from your conversation. By getting to know you, it can literally understand your speech patterns and your thought process.
Right.
So in an evaluation, it's like, well, this is Sam's speech pattern. I can almost predict, using AI, what he's going to say next. And that's the kind of intuitiveness that an AI inside an Android can do.
So here's where you just made me think of something kind of cool here. You know how everybody, you know, for safety is, you know, open carrying or, you know, concealing and carrying, you know. In the future, instead of having to deal with that, it would be nice for my comfort level if I knew my daughter was going someplace, like maybe she had to do something in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
If there could be a companion drone,
Like
that would be
guardian
like a body
angel.
like a guardian angel. That would be a nice niche in business to
wow,
where
like a Terminator.
if you're working out in the morning, right, and you like to jog this certain route,
Yeah.
if you had your droid companion jog with you to be there in the event that you needed help, or be there
Yeah.
to make a phone call if you fell down and you twisted your ankle on your trail. And also with you, it could deter people from jumping you because now you have a personal assistant bodyguard.
Wouldn't it be cool? You could have like security company called, something like Guardian Angel, or RoboGuard, right? So they just go in there and then you rent your droid. It gets delivered like Carvana, right? They drop it off at your house. It gets activated. It has those facial recognition scans. So it knows who can program and who can't program.
Instead of something like big, like a robot running with you, if they could have droids have the battery power to last longer than the 15 or 20 minutes,
right,
and maybe go up to an hour, then you could have something kind of following you as you're doing your jog, so that way it can view your surroundings, so that way if you needed some evidence of something that happened to you, it'd be there, but also be within your voice distance, that if you yelled out a code word or help word,
it would come to your aid.
It would come to your aid, or it would go into record mode and automatically dial 911 to your...
Or scan your body and then send the information to the
cops, like GPS, like, oh, help, distress call here. You know what I mean?
Just imagine that. Imagine if your car could do that. Like you are incapacitated, i.e. you had a heart attack, that it would sense all of your body, whatever, vitals, etc. And then if you had an issue, it would actually call for help for you. Or if we've been in a, front end accident, my driver is incapacitated, we had airbag deployment.
Right.
We are located at XYZ. The clearest or the quickest way to get here is blah blah blah. Considering the current traffic. Just think of that. It's just immediately that would happen, and then you would call whoever you designate as the people to come.
And how they can
quickly.
do that right now is you can link anything with the Bluetooth of your vehicle right now. So
it's not far technology. I mean, literally.
The watches right now can kind of detect if you could have a stroke. I think the Apple Watch.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool though? Because you have your Bluetooth watch, right? And as soon as you walk into your car is already.
Oh, your watch is now your key?
Yeah.
Oh,
your watch is your key.
That'd be cool too.
You can make calls, call, blah, 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 everything's attached. I mean, and
even
then
your ring could be, if you don't like wearing a big watch, you could have a ring.
Like a ring,
that would just kind of be part of your...
Like a Bluetooth ring, like...
Yeah.
Like whatever.
That would be pretty neat. I think we talk about the auto industry and how it evolves and things like that. Using things like that to get in and out of your car would be pretty cool. Because instead of losing your keys or misplacing them, it's always on your hand.
Yeah. Or you can wear it like a necklace.
Yeah.
Have a full accessory thing.
It could be whatever you wanted to be customized, and nobody would need to know what your key is.
So like your wearables, like this, for example, they would have a band that could program my car. It could be anything, cool. Right? It could be anything. You don't even need keys anymore.
I see that as the next trend. It's going to be a keyless world.
Keyless world.
That would be pretty.
Voice recognition. Well, other than voice recognition, maybe some bio. Like beep, the retinal scan or whatever.
And even if you wanted to upgrade your security, you could have a, 3-step authenticity to where not only would you need the wearable,
right,
but you'd have to have one key element that would be specific to you, and in conjunction with that, it could be like your height,
could be like
your weight, or something, or maybe your other favorite wearable that is paired together. Like you can't have one with the other.
You can't have one without,
You know, so that you'd have your own special wearable encryption link.
That's crazy.
That's pretty neat. But possibilities are endless. You know.
I do like the you know the retinal scan. That way you've got, other than, you know, pulling your eye out or whatever, you know like we talked about last time. Is like, hey, you know, no one can borrow my car because, you know, unless you take my eye out.
Yeah, unless you literally take my eye out. You'd actually.
It only hurts until somebody takes my eye out.
You know, speaking of cars, you know, you were talking about airless tires on a side topic.
Yes, airless tires.
You know, I was like thinking about that, and at first I was like kind of off about it, but the more I thought about it, the more I like it. I mean, not having
Weight
to worry
savings.
about the air or a blowout. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Those are the major things on accidents, and with the airless tire,
Yeah.
I think it would be cool, because have you ever had those RC remote control cars?
Yeah.
And if you push this button, all of a sudden the tire will kind of go jazz it, come out and have extra grips. I could see that almost being.
You can see that?
I can see
That'd
it
be
turning
awesome.
into that. I can see it turning into that. But first they gotta get the airless tire part
Right.
But then the tire would be segmented to where it could expand to give you that extra grip
Wouldn't
for
that be cool?
off-road.
That would be kind of cool, because then you can not only program your car to go on snow, but you can also program your tires for snow.
I'd like to
Wouldn't that
see
be kinda
the
cool?
airless tire in extreme tests, like maybe started off in a NASCAR race, to see how well it does, to see how many more laps it could go.
Can you imagine
without changing.
that would change that industry like immensely. Imagine not having a pit crew just for fuel. Just for fuel. Imagine not having to change the tires. Well, you'd still have to change the tires because just the wear of it, you know.
True.
But not having to, I mean, just thinking of that is blowing my mind.
Unless there was a special button or something that, after it wore down to a certain, you know, level, somehow
Yeah.
these things would come out from around the hub and stuff,
Yeah.
and it would kind of like create new indentations automatically.
That'd be kind of funny. That'd
and
be
then
wild.
it'd tell you to go forward like a quarter turn, drill in some more.
Oh, that would be awesome.
grips.
So programmable, like you
kinda
drive your car up
Mhm.
and you say, okay,
You pick
ins-
the grip you want,
Yeah.
kinda, like the tread.
instead of replacing the whole tire,
Right.
the tread can be changed.
Yeah.
Like a whole new insert of, like, it just goes
That's what I'm
instead of the
thinking.
tire itself.
Right.
Because its tire's still good.
Yeah.
But the tread you need to just replace.
Yes, exactly. That's what I think could happen with airless tires.
That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You could even, like, because it's kind of like spongy, right? So you can hit the program and then it would shrink, and then you just slip on the new tread and it goes right back on.
Oh, so changing tires will be even
yeah.
quicker
So
too.
like you just program 4 tires, boop, and you just get the, like, looks like a big rubber band.
Mhm.
You slap it in there and it just goes back into its normal thing.
Extract, retract.
Yeah, and then you have new treads.
And if for
That'd be
whatever reason
awesome.
you're standing on the side of the road, it'd be so easy to change the tire now.
Can you
It'd
imagine?
be so quick, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, no big deal. I just change it out.
Can you imagine what it would do for the rubber industry if you're just changing the treads rather than
A lot of times, that's what makes your tires bad, is because you have no more tread. But you could maybe.
then you could just, oh yeah, well there.
But
you
the
have to make sure
liability
you-
factor. The liability.
You had the
factor.
same thought I did
Yeah.
about the same time.
Yeah.
We're like, well, wait a minute. If this guy does like this drifting and the
Yeah.
treads just come off, now what?
Exactly.
He's spinning like a top, and you know the liability is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you just have to do these are just thoughts though, but you know what? It's funny because we could laugh about it, and the next thing you know, it's like, well, that's what's happening.
And with these cell phones or whatever that's listening to us, I bet you I'll get off of this show, this PS Good Morning show, and go to Facebook, and all of a sudden there's an ad about it. Like someone's already
It's
doing
crazy.
it.
Yeah, everyone's doing it. Yeah.
But no, that's what's cool about this is like, this technology is allowing us to learn about what's going on
Right.
and what's being developed.
Yes.
Where before, you're kind of clueless and you're only provided what the news gave you. Now, people around the world can talk about things that are going on and actually happening.
You know, if you ever want to be depressed, watch the news. I mean, that's bad.
I hardly ever watch it, honestly.
I'm so glad you don't watch it. I'm so glad I don't watch it anymore. I just cut it off.
If I watch it, I'd probably be scared to go outside. I don't know.
I mean, everything is like the end of the world. Like this thing with Hurricane Dorian.
You know why?
It's crazy.
So basically, Dorian is the 4th hurricane of the season, right?
Yeah.
Because if you guys didn't know this, I learned this in like high school or maybe elementary, but every year they name the hurricanes after the letter of the alphabet. So since now we're on D, this is the 4th one of the season or the year.
You know what they used to do though? They used to name, like the guys that worked the hurricane center, they would name the hurricanes after their wives.
Oh wow.
They would pick like that, and they were always female, like back in the day. They were all, because that's what they would do. They would name hurricanes after their wife.
Huh. So I hope next year.
And then they got to a system.
Yeah. Next year it'd be cool if they did it after fruit.
They would be what?
After fruit.
After fruit?
The first one of the year would be
Hurricane Avocado is coming this way.
Yeah. Here comes banana, you know.
Hurricane Peach.
Hurricane Cashew. It'd make it more entertaining, even though hurricanes usually make big news.
Well, you know, you could probably name hurricanes after like cards, like the Hurricane 3 of clubs. We're looking for a full house here.
This is the full house of the hurricane season.
It's a full house of hurricane season.
But
oh, have you done anything with like fantasy football this year?
I have not done it. I used to do it, and I realized that when I did do it, it made the NFL season a lot more entertaining because I just wasn't focused on my own team.
Right.
Now I had a vested interest to watch all the games because I had something to root for.
Yeah, because like you had the players like, come on, guys.
Right. So now that I'm not in it this year, it's like it's a little bit more boring. Other than the fact that I'm local with the Chiefs, so it's always good to hear about the Chiefs, right?
Yeah, always good about hearing.
Die-hard Bears fan, but you know when I'm gonna see the Chiefs more.
Last night.
They did lose last night, and
they could have won that one easily. Yeah. I mean, the Packers didn't score that much.
It was like a 10-3 game.
It was 10-3. I mean, they were on the verge. If only, what was that, their name of their quarterback? I don't remember that guy's name. It was a Ski or whatever.
Oh, for the Bears?
Yeah. Trubisky.
Trubisky. Whatever.
I mean, there was a couple guys open to the right, and I think he should have thrown it to the right rather than left, and of course it was intercepted.
And you know, I don't even want to get into that because you know everybody's expert in the game, and I'm going to hear about it all the time. But
I mean, even like a tight end, you know, run and turn in the middle, it would have been good.
Yeah. During the sports season, is like everybody comes out and they become the professional all of a sudden. And you know what I haven't tried yet, and I don't even care about the reviews, but why is everybody going crazy about this Popeye's chicken sandwich that...
Oh, man.
Have you had it?
No.
But why are they going crazy?
I don't know. We have to try it.
Because I feel like Popeye's... You deal with chicken, you're late in the game if you're finally coming out with a chicken sandwich. I mean, you guys should have came out with a chicken sandwich a long time ago.
But think about it this way. They had to I think they did it right because they waited until everyone had their own chicken sandwich to jump on the chicken sandwich deal, right? And people, do you see that guy shot somebody because they ran out of chicken sandwiches?
No, that's
bad.
That's bad.
That's almost like a Cabbage Patch epidemic.
That's what's scary is these people don't have any emotion or empathy anymore, and they just want things right away.
What, you ran out of Popeyes?
What, I had to wait 1 day for my Amazon shipment? You know what I mean?
What, my fries aren't hot? What kind of place is this? This is ridiculous, man. You know what's really crazy is...
But, you know, now that you mention it, I mean, I do want to try it, but we're not going to make a big reveal about it. I just want to...
I don't even know where Popeyes is here.
There's one over by Berry Road, kind of...
There is one close to Leavenworth, Kansas, down on Lansing. I don't know.
Yeah, so
We could probably do a remote. I could go to the one in Lansing, and then you can
You
go to
know,
one on Barry, and then we could do like.
here's what we'll do. We'll go to one together. We'll go to the drive-through, right? And we're gonna be mic'd up.
We're gonna be
You know,
mic'd
like,
up.
have you ever seen the Sonic commercial? Where
Oh
the two-
yeah, the two guys like.
We're gonna do
would
a
like
Sonic
that.
type one, but we're gonna go through the drive-through at Popeyes and just go through the entire process.
We're gonna have like dad jokes too.
And you'll see our initial
Like dad
responses from the first bite, and you'll be able to see our reaction to it and go from there.
We'll talk about our dad jokes.
But I think that there's so much hype to it that when I actually get one of them, I'm
you're
gonna
gonna
be
be
like,
disappointed.
this is just a chicken sandwich, guys. I mean, guys, we ordered
No,
a
what
chicken
we could
sandwich,
do-
and
we
guess
could
what?
do-
We got a chicken sandwich, and it tasted like a chicken sandwich.
What we could do is we could do like we could eat it, and we're like, oh, it's too
So-
funny.
We get, how's it going? So, every Friday we come up here and we have discussions about just future and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So we just decided to make a podcast,
Yeah.
if that's okay.
Well, as long as it's not like showing.
Oh
No,
you can look at it right now. It's not
Yeah,
really
it's not-
showing anything, or I can blur it all out too up there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah, as long as it's not showing like the workers. And
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
it's
no,
not. No,
no,
it's just
no.
us here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not showing any workers.
So that was a Good Morning, PS Good Morning behind the scenes. So that must have
morning.
been the manager of this place at this fine establishment.
What we ought to do is maybe cut off the top, like this part right here.
We can add
Just to
one of
get,
those
like-
little
like just kind of
content filters to make it look like there's something. You know how like if I had a logo here, you could
Wait,
blur
you know
it
what?
out.
You know what would be funny though? If I think what's funny is people see the headphones and like think, "Oh, what are they doing?"
Right. So
I don't know. I like I
even
don't
if
know, like,
even if he didn't like it, could he really do anything? I mean,
what would be the difference? Like me hanging out here and doing work,
right?
like using their internet,
Yeah.
or like something.
We're not even
something-
using their internet. We're not even
Yeah.
using their power.
It's like, yeah, we're not using any power of theirs.
So
And
here's what I always thought too was funny is you go to a lot of places they say no cameras and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But yet everybody has a cell phone.
everyone has a cell phone.
So if I wanted to bring my
I mean,
professional camera, people would flip out about it like he's taking photos. But everybody does it. It's just because I have something that looks professional. This is probably
it's
just
funny,
as
though.
professional. So
I mean, I would think about it this way, right? It's like, everyone has a camera, everyone has a phone, everybody. I mean, that's just our life now. It's like, and so the acceptability of having cameras and such.
mhm.
I mean, it's vastly known that like some people really do really great. Their businesses. Look, I mean, this is the most I've ever seen it.
So like me and
It's
you,
crazy,
me and you talk normally like this before we got into the video, right?
right? This
The
is
only
our normal thing.
the only difference right now
is that we have that
headphones
and this.
and we have a
Yeah.
little thing on our table
Yeah.
and
I
we
mean, that's
have
the
like a
thing.
little tripod. And the tripod right now is really standing out because I'm actually using my iPad. But if I use my
The
little
phone?
dinky phone, they probably wouldn't have said anything. You know what I
Can you
mean?
imagine? Yeah, just I had it like stand right there. Maybe I don't know. We should try it one day.
Maybe they just think that we're actually. Maybe he was hoping that we were like a legit show, like, and he was just kind of curious. And if we said something that was kind of famous, he'd probably be like, "Oh, hi guys," like he'd probably.
I don't know. Maybe we should have sat him down and
Maybe
interviewed
we should
him.
do a social experiment.
We should do. Hey, come on over here. We'll talk to you.
You know what we should do? We should make a sign
What's that?
that goes right here that says "Quiet recording in session."
No, we should have like a red light, like have like recording.
Yeah, like in the real studios and stuff. Red means
It's
they're recording.
funny because we get when since we've been here and we've only had this set up
Right.
twice,
Yeah.
and for each time we've always had somebody come by.
True. What are you guys?
I don't know
doing?
what it. Yeah, I don't know what it is about. We've been doing this for 4 times now, and this
Yeah.
is like the 2 times that we've had this set up.
Mhm.
Where people like,
What are they doing? What are they up to? But hey, I mean,
I should do that when we're like I'm crawling right here, and then like like peek out. I'm gonna do that. Check it out. Get my leg out.
But that's what kind of happened the previous week. We kind of saw somebody kind of looking over, and I was hoping more people would do it this week so I can actually kind of put them in like a slow motion type thing and put little captions underneath them.
I find it funny.
Yeah.
I find it funny that we're getting all this attention. Like, I think I find it
I
funny.
think that for me, that gives me a warm feeling that we're onto something. Like we're going in the right direction for whatever it is that
I'm ready to get
could
kicked
result
out.
from this.
We'll go outside. We'll go outside. We'll like have our show outside.
The PA
like we'll
show
have
is
it
no
like in
longer
the parking
allowed.
lot. We've been banned. Have a big banner. Banned.
I don't
That'd
know.
be fun. We could do it at a park. I mean, we could go anywhere at this point.
You could.
We could go like, I don't know. We could go. You know what? Maybe next time we'll go over to the grocery store down the street.
We could go in there. Yeah, that one would be pretty quiet. I think we'll have to look at the lighting situation, but I can always enhance the lighting anyway.
Oh, I really like where we are because
I
it's
do.
very comfortable.
And I think they'll get used to it.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, it's just those guys again. They're not recording you guys back there.
Violated.
But anyway, this is probably close to wrapping up the show. I know that
I love it.
once we get into these, it's like I don't, time limit wise, I don't know if we should limit it or not. But either way,
I don't know. We should try and see how many like our top. What's the top viewers that we have so far?
I don't think we've really promoted it like we should. I mean, we've been making the videos, but my plan is not really a plan, but I would like to have a collection of at least maybe 6 videos and then fully market and advertise it, because I want to kind of have the library built up. But
Sure.
no, we can
I mean,
start.
I think
I've been sharing it with a couple people here and there, and
sure.
I was thinking that if they liked it, they could kind of share it on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. Just have
But,
have that organic reach, right?
Right. That organic reach, I like that.
That organic
I
reach
like
is
that
what
phrase
we're for.
because, like you said, me and you like doing this. We like meeting together. We like talking
Yeah.
about it. And if I share it with one person and they decide to share it with a lot more, that's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
But I'm like, the mode of me actually going out and really marketing it myself. I don't know. I
Yeah, I
just
don't know, yeah.
I don't know. I like.
Let it do its thing.
I
right?
want it to
Let
do its
live
thing. I want
yeah.
it to just
Let it do
grow
its thing.
freely and kind of like our show. We start
Sure.
at this subject and we end up here.
It'd be kind of
And-
cool to see what you like after like a year, right? See
Mhm.
what
And that would be cool. Like if we really market it after a year and we consistently do this,
Yeah.
they'll be
Maybe
like,
see
"Whoa,
what it looks
these guys
like
have
in a
been
year."
doing this for a long time."
For a year.
Because I don't know if you've done this yourself, but there's been videos of these people that are doing certain
Yeah.
niches and topics, right? But once you find their first video and you like it, all of a sudden you start binge watching all their other videos from the past. I don't know if you've done that. I've done it.
I'm laughing because I've done it.
Yeah. Like, oh, these, man, I just, one day I was just,
Yeah.
surfing on the YouTube. I saw a topic that I was searching for. These guys showed up. I clicked on it.
Yeah.
And within the first, 3 minutes, I found myself watching their entire
Yeah.
hour show.
Yeah.
And it was so entertaining, I started clicking on their other videos.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
The same thing happened to me. There was this guy named I don't know if you've seen him. He's everywhere, right? His name's Gary V.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Gary V.
Very foul-mouthed guy.
Yeah,
but
yeah, oh my gosh,
He's
just-
straight to the point.
Yeah.
And he does have a very good point because in his goals,
Yeah.
his goals are so streamlined. He doesn't have it
Yeah.
excuses, right?
No, he
He's
doesn't.
basically like,
I've done
this
it.
is how it
and you have
is.
no excuse.
yeah, if you
I've
want
done
to
it.
do this, stop crying.
I've done it.
Blah blah blah.
And
Boom.
the reason why I've done it is because I stayed at it longer than most.
State and he has a big,
Yeah.
huge goal.
following. Huge following.
Yeah.
You know what's really
he
funny?
wants to buy the jets, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like his goals are so huge that he's going for this one that's way up there.
Yeah, yeah,
In order
and
to
he's going
get
for
that,
it.
he's going for it, but he has to do all of these things
So-
to do it. And he has to and
Yeah.
like with everybody, we all have the same amount
Yeah.
of time.
Yeah, exactly.
But our life expectancy
it's not always the same.
is not always the same.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go for something huge like that, you got to make progress.
Yeah.
And he's trying to make progress.
Yeah,
every step of the way.
every step of the way.
And he values his time, but he
Yeah.
also realizes that he's got to stay on task.
Well, it's really funny because I think what makes Gary Vee super popular is because he's a mirror, right?
Mm-hmm.
He is an absolute mirror. And we try to prop ourselves up so much with our insecurities that it is a facade and we no longer know what the truth is. And so Gary Vee is the reflective nature of who we are as individuals, and we need to see our insecurities for what they are, and because he's been through it.
Right. He's been
And that's
through it,
he's
and
able to say, look, why are you doing that? Don't you want to be happy?
and he doesn't have a filter.
He doesn't.
And I like when I watch some of his, it's kind of like a rant, and I kind of like watching rants sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like,
But I mean, he's so on par of like, hey, you know what? Here's what if you need to be if you want to be successful,
Mhm.
you got to stay in the game and not want to go for the quick fix.
right.
You want to go for the distance. You want to go for the marathon. You want to go for the longer haul, and be expecting results in 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in people think of like, well, easy for you to say, you know, you're popular. Well, no, but if you think of his track record,
Right.
he's been in this game a long time.
And he is actually doing the things that you're supposed to be doing.
Right,
where
correct.
The people that says, I've tried it
Yeah.
and I'm not there, is because you haven't been doing
Right,
it.
right.
You've been wishing you were doing it.
Slow
And
is fast, fast is slow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
So
you
yeah,
know,
he's
it's pretty
absolutely-
encouraging.
Yeah, I like
And
to watch him.
consistent. I mean, I'm glad that we've actually, 4 weeks in a row right now.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't sound big to you guys right now, but it's those little things that
Yeah.
you can be consistent. We set a goal to do it once a week, every
Yeah.
Friday, and so far we made that
Yeah.
target since we made that goal.
Right.
Now things can go from there. Everything starts and
Absolutely.
stops, and right now this is just fun.
I think what I'd like to do, it's like, like you said, this is fun, and we've got to keep it that way because that's
Mm-hmm.
really where, our dynamic is what makes this happen.
and if it's fun, it doesn't feel like
yeah.
work.
Yeah.
right?
Okay. And can you imagine if this is what you could do the rest of your life? It would make you super happy and made lots of money in it. Can you imagine us doing this? Just a thought, right?
Uh-huh.
In 1 week, we make as much as we do in 1 year at our regular jobs.
Oh, that would be awesome. And here's the
That'd be
thing
awesome.
too. Like, I know that I'm not the best speaker out there. I know that I might have some mannerisms that when I look at this video, I'll be like,
Yeah.
man, I need to correct that. But the thing is, we're only going to get better
Yeah, yeah.
by doing.
You should do a flash mannerisms.
Or we could do, mannerisms. Or make it go this way. But what's
You mean
fun about
mannerisms?
what's fun about this is, like, for you guys that are out there that want to learn something and get better at doing something, or this is the way to start, because you're going to be working with some
Yeah.
equipment that you maybe never worked with.
Never work with.
You're going to work with editing software possibly,
Never work with.
and you're only going to get better. So now we say this, watch our videos one day are going to look too professional for you
Yeah.
guys probably, because
Spend the money up front.
we're gonna, because with this practice, one day possibly I'm gonna get good at editing videos that it's gonna, what took me once 2 hours to edit a video,
Right.
I'm gonna be doing it in like 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
What's crazy is like when I do like the 2-minute trainer videos, I
Yeah.
was doing take after take after take after take the first couple of videos, and now I could do it after rehearsing for a little bit. I
Mhm.
rehearse a little bit and then I go on. Now it's down to 2.
Now I
It's 2
noticed
takes.
lately that you've been putting one out. Do you do it typically on Mondays, or do you kind of just try to just target a
I
goal?
try
of
to do one every day.
Try to do one every day, because
Yeah.
it's not showing up on my Facebook feed every day.
No, it doesn't. Not on Facebook, but on
Okay.
LinkedIn it does.
Oh, okay.
I try to do one every
See,
day.
LinkedIn I don't check very often.
Yeah.
So,
So I do a LinkedIn
But
more because
you're
the
targeting
content,
the leadership.
Yeah,
The content
I'm
is
doing
toward
is
there.
more.
So
yeah.
you guys are on LinkedIn and you're
Yeah.
leaders out there and you want to
2-minute
develop
trainer.
teams, or
Yeah.
he covers a variety
Yeah.
of tips and solutions and even phases of what to expect
Right.
during certain
During
type of
certain
things.
times of transition, whatever.
So you won't be caught off guard if you're a new manager or new leader.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good stuff. Check into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Thanks for the
we'll plug in. Oh yeah, we
2-minute
got to
trainer.
plug. You know, I'm thinking also too. A long time ago, I actually kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
But
I
was
saw
very
that.
low key on it, right?
That was kind of cool though.
So maybe I should have consistently kept doing it, and I'd have a library stuff. But
And we'll have
mine
like
was more on like some books that I've been reading, and I always took like
Yeah.
I like quotes. Quotes are awesome, right?
They're
so
powerful.
I'd like to take a quote from a book,
Right.
and after that sentence, I would basically explain
Yeah.
in my own way what that was, and that's what I like. So
You know what we ought to do? I think this is kind of cool, and we talked about it early before we started the show. But there is a lot of knowledge and experience out in the world that we can find with our parents, grandparents, etc. And I think it would be worthwhile to interview some people that have been in this kind of industry or industry in general, devoted their past 30 years, 40 years in committing to sales, owning restaurants, owning businesses. I think we could all learn from that.
And I think from all the interviews too, you'll probably see a common block or ingredient
Yeah.
that is successful through any generation.
Yeah.
That you'll pick up.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that guy Balin?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, if you go onto YouTube, yeah, it's pretty good. There's a certain set format you use for interviews. Number one, you just go through the basics. Tell me how you got into the business. What would you do differently?
Like key questions
Yeah.
almost.
What would you do differently? And if you had advice for people that are coming into this kind of business, what would you give them? And basically, there's 4 basic questions, right? And those can last for a whole year, like a whole hour.
Yeah.
I mean, literally a whole hour.
Simple questions, but
normal
the genuine answer
Right.
that's provided to that unique person on what they want to share.
Right,
is just
exactly.
huge.
Right, it's big. But anyway,
So I
awesome. I can't
guess we
believe it's been
can-
an hour already.
Yeah, it's been an hour, so we better wrap this thing up. But
That's amazing.
thank
I
you
can't
for
believe
joining
it.
us this Friday.
Wow.
P.S. Good morning.
P.S. Good
See you
morning.
next week, and
Give us thumbs up.
give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe.
Ring that bell.
We'll try to. I'm still working on getting all the links and stuff in our little description, so that way you guys
Yeah.
can like click on stuff and things like
Yeah.
that. But definitely solid.
Yes.
If you like this type of setup,
This
you
one
find
here,
it
the
useful
pot
for
voice.
interviews or to this type of thing.
All
It
right.
works very well, very cheap, affordable. Comes in nice little pouches, whatever.
Sure.
All right. Well, we'll
Well,
call
take
that a
care.
wrap. Take care.
Bye. We'll see you soon.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.